Well, hello to all of my friends and welcome you guys to yet another amazing episode, okay, of my series about my health called Waves. Okay, this is the finale, you guys. This is episode 6. And the title of this episode is called The End. And you're listening to Sloan Talks. Listen, you guys, I left you with a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger, not a cliff. What is a cleft? A cliffhanger on the last episode after me meeting with an ENT and him turning to me and telling me basically, oh, I know what you have. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what, sir? What did you mean by that? So if you haven't listened to that episode, please go now and listen to that episode before you start this one. I feel like it's in like a chronological order, so I don't want you to miss what I talked about on the last episode so that this one will make better sense, if you will. So I'm going to start this episode talking about a little bit of the background before I get into what the ENT told me. All right. All right. So basically, the whole series, you guys, is my health issues surrounding my mysterious or not so very mysterious, okay, symptoms of vertigo. Where starting on episode 1 of this series, you guys, it talks about literally my first episode. I was minding my business, holding pizza, okay, pizza boxes. We were ready to go eat pizza. And that night I did not eat pizza. And since that night, my life has forever been spiraling into chaos. I hate to be dramatic, but it sucks. All right. So listen, I said that this would be a controversial, very controversial episode, you guys, because I'm going to talk about something that no one really, we kind of like stopped talking about it a little bit. And I hate to bring it up again, but I have to. Because I'm a little bit thinking this may be, it may have a little bit to do with what I'm going through. So my symptoms, a little bit started after this. So let's talk about what happened. On November 2022, I remember actually having like a pretty November, September, October. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. I think it was closer to October 2022. So this was literally like the day or the day before Halloween. And I remember going to my kids' Halloween, like festival, and I volunteered there. So I went to like help out with the teachers and set up like little arts and crafts, like stations for the kids to do and to like make little like mummies and gift bags and stuff. And I remember having a little bit of a runny nose there, but I was like, you know what? It's a school. It's full of germs. So I didn't pay much attention to it. So that one on October 31st. That night, we ended up doing trick-or-treating in the area we always go to. And so we pull up and park. And I remember getting out of the car and there was like these trees like hanging from it. I don't really know. Listen, I'm not a horticulturist, so don't quote me on this. But you know those trees that I think are like cherry blossoms? Maybe, not sure. But they look like cherry blossoms, but I think they have an odor to them. And I think they have little like balls on them, so maybe they're like little cherry trees. Not really sure. Not cherries, but like little round red things that are like not cherries. Okay, follow me here. Listen. So we get out of the car, we pull up. One of those trees is like literally covering the car, so you like kind of duck to get out of the car. And Mr. Sloan immediately goes, "Oh, that tree smells so bad." And I was like, "Oh," I'm like, I don't know. And so like we continue on and I'm like, okay, kids, let's, we have our route we're going to do and we'll come back to the car. So let's, of course it's at night. So we're walking to the houses, we're trick-or-treating, all is well. We kind of walk back to the car and then the kids go, "Ew, it's so stinky. Ew, the tree." And I was like, you guys are just being dramatic. Get in the car. You're fine. And so that's, just me being a mom. And also I didn't really notice anything. So I was like, why are you guys all tripping? So we get in the car and we go home and everything is fine. Around November 6th or ish, like a day before my birthday, I started to feel like those runny nose symptoms kind of like intensified a little bit. Like it felt more like allergies. so this is how the whole ENT story is like, okay, so it's an allergy thing, clearly. Like you have allergies, and have struggled with allergies for about 10 years since I moved here. So I was like, okay, it's just allergies. It's fine. So that runny nose turned into me taking allergy medicine. And then one of my kids came home from school with a fever. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe it's not allergies then. Maybe it's like a flu virus or like something like that. And so on November 6th to the 5th-ish, one of my kids tested positive for the C word. Yes. So at that moment, I'm like, wait a minute. Do I have the C word? Wait just a minute. So I then took a test, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's confirmed. I too was positive for the C word. So I was thinking back, and I was like, oh my gosh, was this like warming up, like a little precursor to like the actual symptoms that had started on Halloween, when everybody got out of the car and they're like, oh my gosh, it smells so bad. And my nose is like so good, you guys. I can literally smell outside. Okay. If you come near me, I can smell everything about you. You know what I'm saying? And so I knew it was weird because I didn't smell that tree, but I was like, it's just people are tripping, and maybe my brain is just blocking like being stressed out. So it's like, whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost my sense of taste and smell on Halloween day, and I had no idea about it. So the 6 days later is when I was like, wait, maybe I was a little bit asymptomatic. Maybe I should test since my kid came home with a fever. And sure enough, I was positive on November 6th. That's like 7 days after the Halloween party, and like me noticing like, oh wait, am I supposed to be able to smell something? Wait just a minute. Also, I feel horrible that I went to the school, you guys, and this was like no one really like, I went to the school with full on C word, huh? Not the full on C word around the kids now. I didn't know. I thought it was my allergies. I feel bad. So I was like, let me just, yeah. So we had that established. Okay. C word is being confirmed. Got that in November, 2022. During that, I did lose my sense of taste and smell. And this time it was more intensified. I felt like my smell was a little bit altered the night of Halloween when we got out of the car and like the tree was smelling and I couldn't smell it. But then by November 6th, I couldn't taste my toothpaste. So I was brushing my teeth and it tastes like nothing. It tastes like air. I was like, what the heck? And then I would go and try to eat my breakfast. It tastes like air. Drinking water, it tastes like nothing. And the creepiest thing, you guys, if you have lost your sense of taste and smell because of the C word, it's such a weird sensation if you're a texture person. It's like a nightmare. So basically, it's like your senses are like relying on taste, if that makes sense. So if you don't have taste, it was relying on feel. So my mouth would be chewing, for example, hate to gross you guys out, but let's say it's a scrambled egg. Instead of tasting a scrambled egg with each chew, I was literally tasting nothing, but feeling the texture of almost rubber. Yeah, so I'd literally have to force myself to eat. This happened for 10 days, you guys. 10 days. I started looking up, of course, on TikTok, like how to like retrain your senses, how to get your sense of taste and smell back. And one of the things was to smell coffee. So I would wake up every morning for like 10 days straight, go straight over to the ground coffee, instant coffee, shake that mofo up, open it, and just inhale it. Just, you know what I mean? Like full on, give it to me. Like I had to smell it. Gradually, I noticed that like from day 1 to like day 5, I would say, like, so like the middle point, I could start to smell the coffee. But before, it was literally like smelling nothing. You guys, I broke down and cried. Like, I don't think we realize how much our senses are like a part of who we are, part of our life. But my brain was just so confused. Like, why can I not smell this coffee? Why can I not smell the eggs I'm cooking? Why can I not smell this onion? Like, I really did what they called, like, I think it's called scent training or smell training to like get my senses back of being able to eat and smell food. Who knew these things were connected? Because I didn't. Raise your hand if you knew, okay, that your sense of taste and smell are like so connected to like it throws off your entire world, because I didn't. All right. I didn't know that. So we'll say by day 10, I start to get my senses back and I can start smelling again. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And then So that's November, December, January, February, March. April is when my symptoms started with dizziness. So that's 5 months later is when I have these symptoms of dizziness. In the beginning, my doctor said this is like an inner ear thing. This is like maybe you have fluid in your ears. You have a history of allergy. Maybe this is allergies. Let's give you allergy medicine. And I was also doing Flonase, right? So I was doing the spray, and then I was doing these like nasal, what are they called? What I want to call it, irrigation, like your ear. The thing like it's like the neti pot, basically. I was doing that every single day. So neti pot every single day, trying to relieve my dizziness symptoms in the beginning, like super, super beginning, like the third day of my symptoms. I had called and had like a telehealth appointment, and that's when they were like, oh yeah, that's probably what it is. It's probably an allergy thing. Let's just like clear out your sinuses before we get you into an ENT. And of course, prior to getting the C word, I did get C word vaccines. So we'll talk about that for a minute. I know this is super controversial, so bear with me. I did have my first vaccine in 2020, and then I had subsequent boosters after that. So I think my last booster was probably 2021 or 2022. And then November 2022 is when I got the actual C word virus for the first time. So that's like a timeline of vaccines leading up until me getting the C word, and then my symptoms after having the C word. I hope that you guys are following along on what the C word is. Just for like purposes, I don't want to say the word, but it is a highly contagious virus, also known as SARS. So I'm sure you guys picked up on that. But anyway, so here we are. I see a telehealth doctor, tells me to do basically the neti pot, the nasal irrigation. So I'm doing that every day. Do I notice a difference? No. Finally, they're like, let's get you in to see ENT. We'll look at your ears, ears and note, not the note, ears, nose, and throat. That's what we want to check out with you, because that's what we're thinking is causing your vertigo. And I was like, great, I'm down for it. Why would I say no? So I ended up getting the appointment with my ENT. You guys know the story on this. This also is episode 5. It's the whole story about the ENT. How I went into his office. I'm just going to like summarize it, but go and listen to the whole episode 5, you guys, the episode before this. So basically I go into his office and he's like super sweet to me. I do this whole hearing test and I'm like, okay, they're like, well, you passed hearing. I'm like, great. He looks at my ears and goes, your ears look amazing. And I was like, amazing. Thank you for that. He does this eye exam and like, I'm not able to follow his like pen because my eyes are like doing some crazy stuff. And he's like, okay, don't worry. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that. He was like, don't worry, that's why you're here. We're going to figure out what's going on with you. And I was like, thank you. And then I was like, well, you know what? There's this one thing in November. I did have the C word and I lost my sense of taste and smell for 10 days. And now that I'm thinking back, of course, it was more than 10 days because Halloween day, I couldn't smell that tree. So this was more like, guys, this was like from the October 31st to probably, I would say like 10 days after. So to the 16th, you guys, I didn't have smell for like 2 weeks and didn't know it. I think it was gradually going away. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was gradually leaving and I just didn't know. It wasn't, I thought it would hit me like a ton of bricks and it didn't. Kind of like vertigo. Like, I woke up completely normal and I go to the stoplight holding pizza. I'm about to go freaking eat pizza with my kids and then wham, it hits me. And I've been spinning ever since. It's been a match made in heaven ever since. I've been spinning since that day. And here we are 2 years later. So the ENT is super nice. I do tell him the story about, number one, I did have, did I say the word about the C word shots? I hope I didn't use the V word in this. I don't be listening to myself. Anyway, I told him that I did have the C word shot, and then I did have boosters of that too. And I think I had 2 boosters. So 1 shot, 2 boosters. And then my actual C word virus hit me in 2022 of November, and he leaves and he comes back and he tells us, okay, you can come into my office. And then he sits us down and I'm looking at Mr. Sloan like, why are we being so formal? Like before we were just in like the exam room, like with the bed, with the white, tissue on it, like just a regular room, regular exam. He's sitting in a little spinny chair. It's so casual. When he called me into his office, I was like, I'm sorry, sir. Why are we leaving? So the call into the office did scare me. I looked at my husband like, I don't think this is going to be news that we want to hear. Like, you generally don't get an office sit down unless it's something that you really are about to receive some news that you need to sit in the office chair, sis. You can't sit on an exam bed for this. So we go in, and I explained this in the previous podcast, but I'll kind of go through it again. There's like two kind of like sections. There's like an entryway into his office. So the entryway has like plants and like two chairs on one of the wall, and then his own chairs on the back wall. And then it's like a kind of like a walkway. And then going into it is his actual office, where it's like a desk and chairs, and like you can see like his paperwork and all that. So he's like, oh, we can stay in here. And I was like, oh, we don't go to his actual office. We sit into like the little, like it's like a privacy room. And I was like, okay. And so he's like, go ahead and have a seat. And I was like, nah, man, just have a seat. Because I was going to stand. I thought it was like a quick little talk, but he's like, have a seat. And he turns to us and he goes, I know, based on your symptoms, exactly what's going on with you. And I was like, oh, okay. Is it like, what is it, neurological? Like, is it in my brain, neurological? Like, at this point, like, we're like, literally, this is the first doctor I've ever seen for these symptoms. I hadn't seen a doctor to that point, except for like a telehealth who told me it was allergies, which was, we won't go into that, but you know what I mean? So, he turns to me and goes, I know exactly what you have. You have long COVID. I was like, I immediately started crying. I was like, what does that mean? How long does long C word, whatever, show its symptoms? When will my symptoms get better? And he turns to me and goes, I don't know. We don't know. No one knows about this. It's so new. I can't give you a time. I then started bawling my eyes out, you guys. I'm literally almost on the floor at this point. Sorry, you guys. In that moment, I felt a little bit like a failure. Because I tried to like protect me and my family from the C word for a long time. We never got it in 2020. We never got it in 2021. We got it in 2022. Like, we held off. We did distance learning. We were the only family at my kids' school had continued distance learning after they had given the okay to go back to campus, because I just wanted to protect our family as much as I could. So when he told me I had long COVID, I'm immediately thinking about my kids. Like, will they have these lasting symptoms too? They're kids. Like, they don't deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, as a mom, you're like, okay, give it to me, but don't let my kids experience like these things. And I remember just sitting there thinking, like, how did this happen? It sucks. The question is, now here's the controversial part. Do I think I have long C word? What have other doctors said about that? I know that's what you guys want to know. Considering I've seen like 1 million doctors and 1 million specialties, every time I say long C word, they throw their hand at me. Like, girl, absolutely not. I've even brought this up to an ophthalmologist, you guys. That, do you think I have long C word? He's like, no. And I was like, why? He's like, well, your symptoms didn't present until 5 months after. Like, vertigo didn't start until 5 months after COVID. So they're like, that's not, we can't put those things together. And I was like, yeah, but what if it was like dormant inside of me and like we didn't know? And then like, I don't know. I'm just trying to find an answer. And every doctor after my ENT has said, absolutely not. This could not be long C word. So my primary doctor, she's so amazing and I love her so much. If you have not caught up on my previous episodes, make sure you guys do. I did switch doctors over to Mr. Sloan's doctor, and I love her with all my heart. She is such an amazing, attentive, sweet, and caring doctor, and I needed that during this time. But I did bring it up to her, And she literally described it as, it could be long C word. And here's what she said. Basically, during the C word, you have inflammation in your body, and you could just have inflammation. And that's what's causing your neck issues. You could have inflammation in your neck and your spine, even in my ear, that's causing vertigo. My eye, my octal, I don't know, freaking nerve. So many things could be inflamed is what she's basically saying because of the C word. But a part of me is wondering, is it from the virus of the C word or from the C word shots? You know, it's hard to know. I feel like, and I have to say this now, I feel like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting emotional. Hold on. Okay. So I feel like in the next 5 years, or I manifest this for people, that will know way more about the C word than we did, like now, right? So I know there's like a heart condition that young boys have as the long C word. I know people who have asthma, and then after the C word, their asthma has made it to the point where they physically need an inhaler to do simple things like climbing stairs. So I know that there is a such thing as long C word, but in that, I never had that vertigo could be one of the long C word symptoms, right? My doctor described it as sometimes the C word will attach to your weakest part. So I remember she said that her son, for example, has stomach problems, and the C word made his stomach problems worse, where he's having super digestion issues. Like, it's just, his stomach is like a mess. And the C word didn't do that to me. My stomach is just fine. But something neurological is definitely going on with me. So I would say the long C word has been in the back of my mind for the past 2 years. I think what's happening is, as I'm going through seeing so like I said, I'm going to keep like reiterating this because it's so important to understand. The first doctor I ever saw was the ENT that said, I know what this is, long C word. Like, he was the first doctor I ever saw and the first literally diagnosis I've ever had. And that was him. And then after that, there's like the neurologist. And then there's me changing to another physician. And then there's audiologist and optometrist and ophthalmology. And all of them are pointing away from long C word. So this is like, I try to describe this path as like a winding path. It's like, I feel like I would go straight and be like, oh yeah, it's that. And then another doctor would be like, absolutely not. Who told you that? I'm like, oh. And like, you bring it back and you're like, oh, maybe it's this. And then they'll be like, absolutely not. It's not that either. And I was like, what? So it's like a kind of like a ping pong, but like, it's me. I'm a person. You know what I mean? So it's like my emotions and my health is kind of being ping ponged around the healthcare system. It's a little bit how I feel. So the question is, what do we do? Do we keep that diagnosis? Literally, that's the only diagnosis I've ever had for 2 years. No one has ever said, I know what this is. Look me in my eyes and like freaking dead in my eyes and be like, listen, this is what you have. No one has said that to me but him. I think for maybe insurance reasons, I didn't go back to him for that ENT. But I've had someone say, why don't you go back to him? This is 2 years later that someone said that it's long C word. Why don't you go back to him? He's the only one that kind of believes his own whatever diagnosis of me. Go back. I might have to. I might have to go back. I think this journey is not what I thought it would be. In the beginning, I thought it'd be like, oh, 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Literally, I think I Googled it. How long does vertigo last when you have allergies or something? Like disconnecting vertigo to allergies. They're like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Just a few weeks, or just take your allergy meds. You'll be just fine. Or if you think your allergy meds, because in the beginning, I was like, oh, my allergy meds are making me sleepy and like woozy. Maybe I'll only take them at night. And then when that didn't work, I was like, okay, so clearly it's not the allergy meds. What is it? You know what I mean? So here's where we are, you guys. I will keep you updated on things that are to come. As far as what is next, I want to continue on my chiropractic because I did start that. I want to start acupuncture, trying to stress out less. I think a really important question is, what does this mean for Sloan Shops? That may be a perfect segue, you guys. Is that a perfect segue into series 3? What does it mean for Sloan Shops? How is my health affecting my business? It's affecting it a lot. A whole bunch, you guys. So what will Sloan Shops look like? We're starting a new year. We're in March already. What will our summer look like? All those things have to be talked about. So maybe, who knows, it may be the next series. I feel like I'm so groggy sounding. I can't believe you guys listened to this whole thing and I sound like crap. I don't know why I sound so groggy. Oh, maybe because I was crying. Maybe because I was crying. So stay tuned for what our next series will be about. Thank you so much to all of my friends for listening. I will keep you updated on any progress or any diagnosis or any improvement that I get on my condition. But as of now, I literally feel like I've improved by like 8% in 2 years. I didn't say 80. I said 8, like under 10. Like that's where I feel like I am right now. So here I am. Here I am, just a girl in her closet creating a podcast about vertigo. Stay tuned, you guys, for my next topic. Thank you for listening. I love you guys so very much. You guys are top tier besties. Make sure that you guys are joining me on my live streams. If you are new here, I am a personal shopper and I go live shopping on TikTok. Make sure you join me over there. My name is Sloan Shops TV and we have a good time. So don't forget to follow me on TikTok and make sure you subscribe here on this YouTube channel. This is Sloan Talks, my podcast channel. Also, if you're streaming here on Spotify, hello, make sure that you follow or subscribe to this account because I'll be uploading more content for my new series. And I love you all. And you're listening to Sloan Talks.